Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive Insurance. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. And we welcome you here to Allen Fieldhouse, sold out as always, as the Kansas Jayhawks get set to take on the undefeated and second-ranked team in the nation, the Iowa State Cyclones. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis. Jay, the students aren't officially back, although some of them have made their way back to campus, but you wouldn't know it from the energy in this building tonight.
Well, one of the best atmospheres in all of basketball, and I think the best venue for basketball in America, Allen Fieldhouse, and this place is going to be lit as the Jayhawks take on the #2 Iowa State Cyclones. This is going to be a big game here in Allen Fieldhouse.
Iowa State has lost its last 7 here in this building, but again, they are playing as well in the country right now, and better than 16,000 here to greet them as only they can here at the Fawn. We want to mention right off the top, we are experiencing technical difficulties tonight in terms of being able to transmit multiple camera angles, show you replays, etc. You are going to get this look that you're getting right here, the play-by-play camera. And trust me when I tell you, some very good people are working very, very hard to try to fix the situation as soon as possible. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Underway here with the Fog, and this is Darren Peterson, who is now appearing in his 8th game of the 17 in which the Jayhawks have played. And Jay, when he's been on the floor, he's been dynamite. It's keeping him on the floor that's the issue. A nice turnaround jumper for Bryson Tiller for the first bucket of the night.
Well, to your point, Darren Peterson is averaging 27 points a game in his 3 Big 12 games. He had 30 target of this Iowa State defense.
Well, look at the Iowa State starting 5, including Tamin Lipsey, one of the best point guards in the nation. Milan Momcilovic, the 3-point shooting leader in the nation. And Joshua Jefferson, who is playing at an All-America level right now for the Cyclones.
And Killian Touré is guarding Darren Peterson. He's got length and Iowa State's best on-ball defender. This is Tamin Lipsey guarding Melvin Council Jr. Lipsey is their best overall defender.
You see the starting 5 for the Jayhawks. Council, the transfer from St. Bonaventure, has been really good for Kansas, especially when Peterson hasn't been in the lineup. How about the start for Tiller?
Well, Bryson Tiller has not played his best basketball. He didn't have his best game against West Virginia, but he's come out aggressive in this one. And he can shoot the ball from the perimeter, but he's getting more active taking it to the basket.
1 and 2 in league play. A loss at UCF, a miraculous overtime win against TCU when they were down big late, and then a loss to West Virginia in their last game. So it's been a bit of a tough go for a Kansas program, obviously, that is used to being among the elite. They got knocked out of the top 25 this week when the rankings came out yesterday after that loss to the Mountaineers.
And I think Bill Self wants to see his team be more competitive for 40 minutes. Great back cut, just didn't execute it.
And a slow start at the offensive end for Iowa State. This Cyclones team is very good offensively. They are elite defensively in a number of ways. You talked about Lipsey and Touré already, and they've got a lot of different guys. They just make you work so hard to get a good look.
Well, they pressure the ball. They're very good in help side, and they make it really difficult to run clean offense. But Kansas has run really clean offense to start this game, and it's been all the big guys for the Jayhawks.
What a find from Melvin Council Jr. to Flory Badunga, and what a start for the home side. Lipsey the kick. Jefferson passed up a look at 3. Takes it into the paint and will finish to get the Cyclones on the board.
Joshua Jefferson is having a spectacular season. He's the top scorer, top rebounder, and top assist guy on this Iowa State team. And a lot of his assists, he's finding Milan Momcilovic for open shots.
He is averaging better than 5 assists per game. Tiller, who could shoot the 3, will miss one from the corner. And here is Jefferson. As Jay mentioned, they run a lot of offense from him, averaging better than 5 assists per game, but he turns it over.
They got the switch. Off the little rub screen by Blake Buchanan, and Flory Badunga had to switch off and stayed in front, did a nice job.
These two programs know each other very, very well, of course. This is the 261st meeting between them. Kansas leading 191-69. In fact, the very first Iowa State game ever was against Kansas, but I don't think the Jayhawks had anybody in that one who could elevate like Badunga.
When Kansas gets ball reversals, they can get that little ball screen, and Badunga slips out of it so quickly.
What a great start for the Kansas Jayhawks as Lipsy now drives and is fouled at the other end, but they've gotten 4 looks from the big guys right around the basket.
Well, Iowa State has not brought as much ball pressure as I expected them to bring to start this game. And anytime you're facing pressure, you want to drive it, get downhill, make 2-play 1, which Kansas traditionally over the last several years has done under Bill Self. But you also want to back cut it, and I think you'll see a lot of that from Kansas tonight.
Lipsy at the line. And what a great story his career has been. He is from Ames, Iowa, now in his senior season. As Jay mentioned, one of the great defensive perimeter players in the nation. He was a semifinalist for the National Defensive Player of the Year award a season ago. But offensively, he gets better and better every year. He had 20 points in the second half alone of their win against Baylor last week.
He is as steady as it gets. Leads the Big 12 in steals and also in assist-turnover ratio. He's a 7-to-1 assist-turnover ratio. That is remarkable.
Yeah, for context, that's preposterous. That would be an all-time record if he were to maintain that through the course of the season. Now Marco Jackson off the bench for Kansas. Nate Heisey for Iowa State. And Torre, the 21-year-old freshman from France, rips down the rebound. Now tries a 3. Too strong, and it's tipped out to Council. Council can fly. Nice look cross court. Peterson. Rebound Torre.
Man, that was a good pass by Council cross court to find Peterson for that open shot.
Torre stumbled a little and slid the feet, and that's a travel. And Iowa State played by turnovers in the early going.
Torre got Badunga off the floor, but that second jump, I know he traveled, but Badunga blocked that shot off a second jump, really quick off the floor.
Torre to the bench. Lipsy returns for the Cyclones. Peterson with 81 points in 86 Big 12 minutes in 3 games coming into this one. Remarkable. Baseline jumper, no. And Heisey comes down with a rebound. Nate Heisey, the 6th man on this team, against starters minutes, 25 a game. Reliable player. Another turnover. That's 4 already committed by Iowa State in less than 4.5 minutes. And it's the hometown Jayhawks off to a good start here in this one. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com.
Monday, the AT&T countdown to the College Football Playoff National Championship on ESPN.
Monday night, 7:30 Eastern, Miami and Indiana. Who you got?
Indiana. I'm not going against Kurt Cignetti.
Just because the stare he would give you if you did?
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for him to crack a smile.
Dan Shulman and Jay Billis back with you here at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. Again, technical difficulties are restricting us to just one camera look. This main play-by-play camera, we don't have replays available for you. It's a transmission issue trying to get it out of the truck and where it needs to get. We can call the game. We hope you can hear us loud and clear. We believe you can. And again, people are working very hard to try to fix this as soon as possible. A very good start for Kansas. 4 baskets, all in the paint. And Iowa State has coughed it up 4 times already. Trey White, who's been scoring at a very high clip recently. A great little up and under fake, but he missed the 12-footer.
Yeah, Trey White is averaging 20 points a game over his last 18 over the Kansas's 3 Big 12 games. He's been very steady throughout the course of the year.
Here's Joshua Jefferson. White has moved up to the 4 spot in this lineup, giving up some bulk in the matchup against Jefferson as Lipsy misses a 3 and Council runs it down.
Kansas has gotten good ball reversal. When they moved it from one side of the floor to the other, they've gotten good things.
Darren Peterson looking to do some damage there, but he couldn't finish the dunk. Marco Jackson kind of fading away, drew foul, and will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's not a good foul by Momcilovic. Marco Jackson was basically headed out of bounds and taking basically a fadeaway, and you just can't foul him there and send him to the line.
Marco Jackson, the redshirt sophomore from Martin, New Jersey, coming off the bench this year. Sometimes he gets a lot of minutes, sometimes Jamari McDowell does, sometimes Cole Rosario does. Bill Self, still like a lot of coaches, still kind of searching for it, as now McDowell checks in and Darren Peterson goes to the bench for the first time in this game.
And McDowell is better from 3 than he is from 2. Marco Jackson had some good moments in that comeback win against TCU. He wound up with 5 steals in that game, and those were really important in a game that arguably Kansas should not have won. That was an amazing comeback.
They were down 15 with 5 minutes left and down 9 with 1:14 left. Came back and won it in overtime. If they lose that game, they're 0-3 in Big 12 play. Jackson. Badunga draws a double, kicks it out. Still lots of time on the shot clock. Jackson the drive, left hand up, and somehow it didn't go down.
Didn't get it to go, but that was a good job driving the pressure.
Good hands there by Jackson, and he forces the turnover. He reached in from behind and poked it away from Jefferson.
Give Kansas's defense great credit. The Jayhawks have not guarded well in Big 12 play. They're giving up 89 points a game. And they have come out with a focused effort on the defensive end. Great cut.
White. And the lay-in for Tiller. And again, it's another bucket in the paint. All 5 made field goals for the Jayhawks have been in the paint.
We talked about pressure, driving it and back cutting it. And Bryson Tiller did a great job of getting to the front of the rim on that back cut.
Jefferson, a clean look at a 3. Joshua Jefferson averaging almost 18 points per game, shooting 36% from beyond the arc.
That's his 17th 3 of the season. But he plays a complete game. One of the most versatile players in the country.
If you look at his numbers in terms of scoring, rebounds, assists, and steals, nobody else in the country has those numbers in all 4 categories. Almost 18 points per game, almost 8 rebounds per game, better than 5 assists per game, and 1.6 steals per game. Nobody else in Division I has those numbers.
Bryson Tiller has been much more active in this game than he was against West Virginia. And Taman Lipsey basically had to wrap him up and foul him to keep him from getting that offensive rebound when McDowell's shot went to the other side of the rim.
Jefferson just went to the bench. Killian Torrey back into the game, so Iowa State gets smaller. Both teams with smaller lineups now than at the beginning of the night. Council, crossover, elevates, buries a 3.
Melvin Council, that's his 21st 3 on the season. 9 of his made 3s on the year came in 1 game against NC State. What a stat that is.
And as you told me, that's your favorite stat of the year in college basketball right now is Nate Heisey. Will answer with a 3 at the other end.
Nate Heisey, he crashes the glass. He plays hard, such an active cutter, but he's a time and space 3-point shooter. And you've got to make him put that on the deck. You can't give him that much time.
And he's a real favorite of TJ Otzelberger, who will tell you that he impacts winning much more than the numbers suggest. This is Jamarian Bateman, a freshman from Milwaukee, number 1 in red. He is a good shooter. Floater by Lipsey, well short. Jackson away.
Oh, what a...
And got it back by diving Jack.
What a play.
White for 3.
Marco Jackson just made a spectacular play. Talk about being first to the floor.
And Kansas has come out competing extremely well in this game, matching if not exceeding the effort of the Cyclones. White thought about it. Council's got a big guy on him and Blake Buchanan. McDowell baseline. Good ball movement. Open look. And another three for White. And a timeout for T.J. Otzelberger. What a start for the Jayhawks here at the Phog. Well, one of the many Bill Self things that he has done so incredibly well in his career is handle top 5 teams. One of the best winning percentages of all time against top 5 teams. And Jay here with the Phog, understandably, it's even better. 12-2 all time when facing a top 5 opponent in this building. And boy, Kansas is playing like they want to extend that streak with everything they've got. They are up 20-9 in this game. But Milan Momcilovic, the leading three-point shooter in the nation, drops one in for the Cyclones.
Momcilovic shoots 55% from 3. And you give him any space at all, and he's making it.
Darren Peterson back into the game, fouled by Torre. So let's talk about Darren Peterson. In and out of the lineup the entirety of the season with cramping issues in his quads. Played a couple, missed a bunch, came back, missed a couple, and then in some games, heavy minutes in the first halves, but out for much of the second half. Didn't play at all in overtime in that game against TCU. Do you expect to see, and we watched practice yesterday and today, as that will not count, foul before the shot. But he practiced hard, a full participant in practice yesterday and today.
Yeah, I mean, if he can play, a full game. He's only played 7 games on the season, but when he's been in there, he has been outstanding. He makes 3 threes a game. In the games he's played, he averages 22 a game.
Quite possibly the #1 pick in the NBA draft. That foul, by the way, on Momcilovic of Iowa State, his second, has gone to the bench. Badunga. Jackson baseline. He's fouled, and Marco Jackson has brought his A game here tonight.
Well, give credit to Flory Badunga. After that double, he caught it quickly in a short roll position and looked opposite. And Marco Jackson did a great job of driving that closeout by Killian Toure. Boy, that play that Jackson made diving on the floor near midcourt that resulted in a 3 was a big-time hustle play.
Might have saved him 2 and got him 3. That's one of those you could say it's a 5-point turnaround on the basis of that hustle play as Heisey sits and Lipsy back in for the Cyclones.
But it's also a contagious hustle play, Dan. When your teammates see you do something like that, it just elevates everyone.
Again, I want to remind you we are experiencing some technical difficulties. We have this camera look for you, the main play-by-play camera, trying to get you more people working very hard, but unable to get you other cameras or replays at this time due to transmission issues. We appreciate all of your understanding as we bring you this great game here tonight.
I'm sure people at home are disappointed that the microphones are working.
Jefferson takes a bump. Boy, Jefferson can beat you so many different ways. He's got great footwork down low. He is a terrific passer. He's a capable shooter. He can score on the block. He's just got an all-round game.
He's a skilled playmaker is the way I put it. Made a triple-double against West Virginia, 10, 10, and 10 to get that triple-double, but he could have had more. There he is in the post.
And a foul on Bryson Tiller will send Jefferson to the line. 2 years at St. Mary's, and now in his second year, this being his senior season, his second year in Ames. And it's one thing that T.J. Otzelberger has. And they lost some very good players from last year's team. But you bring back Jefferson, you bring back Lipsy, you bring back Momcilovic, and you've got 3 cornerstones.
Yeah, it's a great foundation. And then adding Blake Buchanan, who transferred in from Virginia, and then Killian Toure. This is a really good basket team. It may not be the most talented team, but it's one of the best teams in the country, and they are really, really hard to beat.
Second foul on Bryson Tiller for Kansas. He sits as Trey White returns. And Jefferson makes them both. Kansas has led by as many as 11. It is 8 now, nearing the midway point of the first half. Torrey defending Jackson. Here's Peterson at the elbow. And a little floater from about 13 feet away will go.
Just using Darren Peterson in a little floppy action where he can come off screens on the blocks. And when he turns the corner, he's got such a beautiful shooting touch.
His first points of the night. After practice today, he was the one player who stayed out the longest and kept taking shots. Asked a couple of Kansas coaches, and he does that regularly. Having a foul call and an unpopular one at that here at the Fog that is going against Marco Jackson.
Well, Nelson is such a good driver, especially to his right. He's good in transition, but he's really a slash and drive guy, so you can close out short to him because he's looking to drive at every opportunity.
Couple of years at a junior college, and was the WAC Player of the Year last season at Utah Valley. Jackson will sit, and Council returns now for the Jayhawks. The Big 12, such a meat grinder so far this year. 4 teams ranked in the top 11, and then you've got Texas Tech and Kansas after those two, as a couple of opportunities won't go down for the Cyclones. How crazy is it that the top 4 teams in the league, Arizona, Iowa State, Houston, and BYU, Jay, they are 62-2 collectively on the season.
Well, what's remarkable to me is the depth of the conference. It reminds you a little bit, not quite as good in my view as the SEC last year.
And you look at teams like UCF, what West Virginia did to Kansas a few days ago. Not many easy games at all in this league as Peterson scores again.
I think earlier in the season, Dan, that would have been a pull-up jump shot. But Darren Peterson's been much more aggressive in getting downhill over the last several games.
Does that say to you that, in your opinion, the legs are getting better and better by the game?
I would think so. Yeah, that's one of the indicators. Finishing games would be the best indicator.
Lipsy for 3.
Well, aside from those missed free throw blockout, Kansas has limited Iowa State to just 1 shot.
And they've also made their last 5 field goal attempts at this end, shooting 53% so far. Peterson not this time as he misses the 3. Jefferson splits a couple but can't finish.
Boy, good challenge, but nobody stopped the ball.
White in the corner. Got another one. His 3rd 3 of the game.
This is unusual for Iowa State to give up this many transition buckets. They're not getting back to stop the ball and set their defense.
Jefferson will try a 3. Not there. Jayhawks up by 12.5 minutes into this game. Backdoor cut McDowell into Badunga for 2 more.
Well, Kansas's cutting is on point. That was a spectacular back cut by Jamari McDowell.
All Jayhawks here at the Fog, leading by 17. As we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, what a season it has been so far for the Big 12. 3 teams ranked in the top 10. Arizona 1, Iowa State 2, Houston 7. And by the way, BYU is 11 and Texas Tech is 15. 10 players, 10 of the 25 mid-season Wooden Award candidates are from this conference. And a winning percentage in non-conference play of better than 80%. The best in the nation. As you said last year, the SEC was historically good, and maybe this year's Big 12 is not. last year's SEC, but this year's Big 12 is something to behold.
Incredibly powerful at the top, and Arizona has been outstanding at both ends of the floor. Their defense really has been the story. We knew they could score, but their defense has been excellent.
You look at Houston, a team that just never gets the attention it deserves. They've only got one loss in the year. How about Kingston Clemens, their freshman point guard? How incredibly good is he in the season that he has had? And then Texas Tech, all kinds of injuries. You and I had their win over Duke in New York before the holidays. What Grant McCaslin has been able to get out of that team in spite of the injuries is really impressive.
Well, JT Toppin, one of the best big guys in the country, Big 12 Player of the Year, returning. Then Christian Anderson, he can flat out score.
Now, Marco Jackson looked like he may have rolled an ankle. He is grimacing a little bit and now appears to be okay as he gets back down on defense. Look at this drive and finish. You talked about Dominic Nelson. Man, has he got an extra gear.
Well, showing that transition ability that we talked about. Just a slash and drive guy.
Peterson shovels it off to White. He's got 4 made threes already.
Iowa State just a step slow on the defensive end. And Kansas really making them pay. The ball movement by the Jayhawks has been excellent. Momcilovic is going to shoot this over the top.
Back into the game with 2 fouls. Little fadeaway around and out. Lipsy the offensive rebound. Momcilovic misses a 3. So TJ Otzelberger putting his sharpshooter back in there with 2 fouls, needing some offense. But they come up empty on that trip. Jackson with a shot fake and way too strong on the 3. And then White and blocked by Jefferson. Tried to lead his man Nelson transition, but led him too far.
Almost like he didn't see the defense. Marco Jackson was right there as well.
By Jefferson, switch hands and lays it in. That was gorgeous.
How much game does he have on the offensive end? And I think he's a good defender, but a spectacular offensive talent.
And they are rising to their feet here at the far. Lipsy, no. Follow, no. Third try, no. And out of bounds, Iowa State ball. But again, Kansas getting on the floor, making the hustle plays, and the Cyclones are ice cold around the rim.
Well, Flory Badunga was a rim protector. I thought he might have gotten that off the backboard when he wiped it away.
16 points in 15 minutes and 21 seconds. Iowa State shooting just 23%. Heisey. Momcilovic puts it on the deck. Lost it. It might have been Jackson poking it away again.
Oh, there are so many hands around there. Just rallying to the ball.
And then a turnover at the other end. 3-on-2 Cyclones. Boy, nothing easy. No clean looks for Iowa State.
McDowell giving Nelson plenty of room. Another turnover. That's
unbelievable.
Not at all sure-handed. It's almost like they're going too fast.
That is 10 turnovers committed by the visitors already. Kansas only has 2. Pass. Jackson, yes! Gets the bounce. What a stunner so far here in Lawrence. Jefferson one-on-one with Badunga. Now draws a crowd and draws a foul. The Kansas Jayhawks just 1-2 so far in league play, all over undefeated Iowa State.
Well, Kansas has dominated the paint against Iowa State, an 18-4 advantage, and Flory Badunga is going to set a screen here, but there's nobody to screen. And he just slips to the basket for the easy lob with no pressure on the passer, and here sets a little screen, and then Iowa State miscommunicates. He's wide open underneath. This is uncharacteristic of this outstanding Iowa State defense that's #2 in the country in defensive analytics. And the Jayhawks have just cut up Iowa State.
And to compound the issue, the Cyclones have been frigid at the offensive end, mainly around the rim. They've gotten some offensive rebounds, some tapbacks, but they have been unable to get them to go.
Iowa State only has 5 field goals in this first half, and they have 10 turnovers. That is not a good ratio for having a chance to win Allen Fieldhouse.
For a team that generally, led by its point guard, Taman Lip, does not turn the ball over much at all. Lipsy gets a good look for 3 and hit it. But Jorge hustles for the rebound. Momcilovic, no.
When he misses, you know things are in a bad way. He was wide open off that offensive rebound relocation.
Iowa State's now 3 for 12 from 3. They're 2 for 12 from 2. That's how their night's going.
Going back to that floppy action.
Peterson, no, and the rebound to Heisey.
Well, Heisey does a good job on the glass.
Lipsy cradles it, had it blocked, and Badunga kept it in play.
Boy, what a great job by Flory Badunga to come over from the weak side and pick that out of the air with his left hand.
Again, we remind you, having some technical issues, we have this camera look for you, working on getting others to you. But for now, I think no matter what you're seeing Kansas play the best it has played all season.
Dan, the ball movement has been absolutely spectacular. Zero hesitation.
How about 12 assists on 16 made field goals? Nice behind the back pass. Torrey to Jefferson. Torrey rips it away, and finally they get one to go.
The last thing you want to do against Iowa State is catch and hold, and that has not happened in this game, and that is way too easy. Great job by Badunga to shield off weak side help so that Melvin Council Jr. could get all the way to the rim.
If you're TJ Otzelber, it's one thing to see your team miss shots. I would imagine for him, it's quite another thing to see his team look like they have at the defensive end of the floor.
They're all connected, but when you turn the ball over and you give up 13 points off those turnovers, and then the paint has been a sieve. I mean, Kansas scoring at Bill in the blue.
Coming up on the Jeep halftime report, a towny matchup in the ACC tonight, and a buzzer beater for the Badgers. How about the Badgers beating Michigan a few days ago? It'll be Kevin Connors, Seth Greenberg, and Norm Roberts, who knows a thing or two about things that happen here at the Phog. We're back at 30. .122 to go in the first half here with the Phog. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis. For people just tuning in, looking at this score and going, what is going on? How is Kansas up 26 in this game? What are the answers?
Well, the answer is Iowa State has turned the ball over against this Kansas defense, and Kansas's offense, not only in transition but in the half court, has been on point. Their ball movement has been excellent.
And another miss from Momcilovic, another offensive rebound, another try, and he'll nail this one. His second 3 of the game.
He's not going to miss 2 of those in a row from the same spot.
Iowa State 16-0, one of 5 remaining undefeated teams in Division I men's basketball, and the 16-game winning streak is their longest in program history, not just to begin a season, at any point in any season in program history. Into the final minute. Council, left hand, too strong. Back comes Bateman. Jefferson banging with Badunga, and it's out of bounds. Still Iowa State ball. Jefferson has had a frustrating first half. You can see it in his facial expressions.
Well, Badunga fortunate he didn't get a foul there. He brought that left arm down, got the ball, but Jefferson just bowled his way to the basket.
Thought about the 3, now steps in, cannot get it to go. But the ball bounces right back to him for the easy follow.
But Badunga has been so active around the bucket in challenging shots. But the guards have to get down and rebound on the defensive end.
Shot clock turned off near the end of the first half. Kansas with the ball and a 21-point lead, led by as many as 26. Council gets a piece of the paint. White. It will not go right at the end of the half, but that's about the only thing that went wrong for the Kansas Jayhawks, Jay, in the first 20 minutes.
Kansas was spectacular. Started at the defensive end, challenging everything. But offensively, the ball did not stick one time.
Up 21. Kevin Connors, Seth Greenberg, Norm Roberts have the Jeep halftime report for you after this break.
Welcome to the Jeep Halftime Report.
Right out of the gates with Big 12 action in Houston, the Cougars coming off that win over Baylor on Saturday, off to a great start against West Virginia. That's Milos Uzan.
Identity, 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 culture. Defend, rebound, be physical, be tough, impose your identity. That's what Houston basketball is all about.
Manuel Sharp dialed in, and then Chase McCarty as well. Great start for the Cougars, who lead this 38-25. It's the Jeep Halftime Report alongside Coach Norm Roberts, Coach Seth Greenberg, Kevin Connors here in studio. Norm, you sat on that bench there at Allen Fieldhouse for the past 13 seasons. What's different about the way Kansas is playing tonight?
Well, defensively. Coach talked about in his presser that they had to be more physical, they had to be more connected, they had to communicate better. They're a 32 defense. So what that means is that the three perimeter guys will switch and the big guys will switch, and they're staying at home. They're hard hedging on ball screens, staying connected so that Iowa State can't get open looks.
And the reason they're doing that is because they've been switching 1 through 5, and people have been attacking matchups and exploiting those switches. Great decision by Coach Self, giving more responsibility. And then offensively, they're to start to fit in a little bit in terms of the ball's got a little bit better energy. They're moving the ball, moving people, and sharing the ball. Great balance offensively.
Against one of the 5 remaining undefeated teams in college basketball, a fabulous start for the Jayhawks. Meantime, great action in the SEC tonight. Texas A&M and Tennessee. What's it like playing that buckyball?
It's absolutely brutal to prepare for A&M. You cannot simulate what they do in terms of the pace, offensively and defensively in your practice. It takes time to settle into it.
Norm, that's Troy Henderson for the lead.
Well, give them credit. They got some points off the bench from some guys. Tennessee's needed that all year. And then they're looking to be in attack mode with Gillespie, even though he misses a shot. Right? They're playing the way that Barnes wants them to play.
That would have won it in double overtime. Look at Jalen Carey work the glass.
Good old wedge rebound right there. Carey, big physical body, plays through contact, and one. This is a huge win for Tennessee.
The Vols needed that. Looks like they're going to get it up 5 with a second to go over on the SEC network. Florida is blitzing Oklahoma behind Boogie Fland.
Boogie Fland is playing good. He's great in transition. He's really controlling tempo, getting the ball to different people. He's playing really well right now.
And that front court is absolutely dominating. Thomas Houck, as tough a matchup as there is in college basketball.
He's got 12 points, knocked down a pair of 3-pointers.
Boogie.
Xavier Lee is scoring as well. The Gators traveling off that win over Tennessee on Saturday, up by 22 on Oklahoma. We're coming right back.
This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one. This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
The Miami Hurricanes head home to play for a championship. Touchdown, Indiana! Electric! It's what every little kid dreams of.
6 days till we crown a national champion. 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Meantime, Wisconsin, Minnesota down to the wire. Badgers off the win over Michigan. Norm, what did you see from John Blackwell?
Deep range. He can shoot it. He attacked. A defense backed up, and when you back up, that's what happens.
Why is he running? Who is he running from? It's his teammates. They want to celebrate.
Badgers win it by 3. Michigan State trying to get to 15-2 against Indiana. This is Jackson Kohler.
Jackson Kohler, 16-10. Guy, as a senior, you talk about retention, player development, Jackson Kohler.
Lamar Wilkerson leading the Big Ten in scoring in conference games. He had 19 in this one. How about Cohen Carr on the open floor?
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
athlete. He gets ahead of the field, it's going to be nasty.
And then Jeremy Fears kind of took over doing a little bit of everything.
I think this was his best game offensively. He was attacking in transition, attacking off of ball screens. They couldn't keep him out of the lane. He really played well.
Here's coast to coast. Sparty's 15-2 with a 21-point victory. One of two ranked matchups tonight. Number 16, Virginia. Seth jumped out to a great start on Louisville.
The big stepping out and knocking down three. And Onyesu right there coming behind penetration. Spouts up, knocks down the three. And this is Virginia. They got bigs. They share the basketball. They play with great spacing. And they can really shoot the three.
Malik Thomas, one of those guys, Norm.
He's a guy that scores from all three levels, and you can't back up off him. He made 6 threes tonight, and he wasn't even shooting it well.
Dallin Hall was shooting it well. The Cavaliers go on the road and take it to Louisville.
Roster construction. Ryan Odom, money well spent.
Elsewhere, Clemson started the night tied with Duke, unbeaten atop the ACC. Seth, what a fabulous start for Nick Davidson.
Nick Davidson was not good. He was absolutely great. 21 points in the first half. And you look at the spacing this Clemson team plays with. The floor is spread, get a paint touch, kick it out. Davidson knocks down the three. But Norm, it's on the defensive end where they dominate you.
They suffocate you. They play in the gaps. They make every shot tough. They contest everything, and they're great on the glass.
Davidson went for 25 and a 24-point win. Second half on the way. This has been the Jeep Halftime Report.
Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive Insurance. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN, and you're watching quite possibly, maybe, certainly, the best half of basketball that the Jayhawks have played all season. State comes in ranked second in the nation, undefeated on the year at 16-0, and it has been all Jayhawks. The assist-to-turnover ratio, basically as good as it was for Kansas, is as bad as it was for Iowa State. All the points off turnovers for Kansas. They scored from beyond the arc. They scored around the rim, and they hustled, and their effort was as good as I'm sure Bill Self has felt it's been all season.
Well, Kansas competed, and think of it this way. You know, Kansas had 2 turnovers against this Iowa State defense in the first half. Iowa State averages forcing 17 in a game, and Kansas only coughed it up twice. Really, the only thing that Iowa State did at a high level was offensive rebound. They had 14 offensive rebounds, but only converted those to 7 points. Kansas just dominated the first half.
Some individual numbers. Trey White, 4 threes in the first half. That matches his career high for threes in a game. Jamari McDowell off the bench, 5 assists in the first half. That's a career high for him. And Elmarco Jackson off the bench with 4 steals in the first half. They're up 21 without Darren Peterson really going off. And a much crisper start to the second half for the Cyclones. It'll be a slam for Blake Buchanan.
Buchanan just slipped out of that elbow screen. And Lipsy did a great job of getting downhill with some force.
Tiller open. Misses the 3. Offensive rebound, White. Out of bounds, Iowa State basketball. Again, we are having some technical difficulties, as we mentioned to you a couple of times in the first half. Hopeful that getting closer to getting the show looking like it normally does. More camera angles, relays, etc. We appreciate your patience and understanding. People are working very hard on it, but right now we've got this one look, and we've got another bucket for Iowa State. It's Lipsy. They were once down 26. It's now 17.
Boy, Lipsy really got downhill to the basket off that screen up top.
His first field goal of the night, and now a foul on Joshua Jefferson.
And Iowa State is trying to come after Kansas to start this second half. It's going to be incumbent upon the Jayhawks to be strong with the ball, to run through their cuts. Because Iowa State wants to be physical.
I'll tell you, Bill Self does not look like a man who's got a 17-point lead right now. He was several steps out on the court after that foul, yelling at one of his players, trying to get his point across. Killian Torrey goes down, slow to get up, and the whistle blew before the shot, I believe. I do not think that basket is going to count. Brooks Wells, one of the officials, blew the whistle because Killian Torrey was down on the floor, and his first concern was player safety, and the basket does not count.
Well, I can understand why the Kansas coaching staff is a little upset. Torre was not anywhere near the play and certainly not in danger. But player safety is number one. I'm just not sure that he was unsafe in any way.
So he's on the bench. Nate Heisey's in the game. Peterson being pressured by Jefferson out on the perimeter. Rises up and drills a free.
Well, you think he liked that matchup with Joshua Jefferson guarding him out there?
Peterson now with 9. He averages better than 22. Lipsy driving White. Hesitates and hits.
Boy, so strong. He's resolute to get that ball into the paint. There was a switch. Trey White switched onto him. He just went right into his chest and showed his strength.
A guy with a well-deserved outstanding defensive reputation. Let's not forget he's averaging better than 14 points per game. Deep one for Lipsy. Buchanan the tip. Peterson down with it for the Jayhawks. Good help there by Buchanan. They take the ball out of Peterson's hands. White using the screen. The cut by Peterson, and he is fouled.
Against the pressure with the ball coming at him, Darren Peterson made a great corner back cut. And that's what you have to do against pressure. When there's pressure on the ball, drive it, get downhill, make 2 play 1. And that back cut was a big-time play by Darren Peterson,
who was at the line for a couple. The Naismith High School Player of the Year a season ago, and again, quite possibly the #1 pick in this coming summer's NBA draft. Darren A have played without him, Jay, more than they have played with him this year. And maybe talk a little bit about, as gifted as he is, how difficult is it when a player comes in and out of the lineup as often as he has?
Well, especially a guy that draws much attention. You know, for Melvin Council Jr. and White, you know, their role changed when Darren Peterson's in the game. They can't get quite as many shots.
The lead back to 20. Lipsy no. Peterson the rebound.
Well, he's just blowing by people.
Peterson creating a little space. Lipsy not giving him much. Council the drive. Knocked away by Jefferson. Lipsy in transition. And just smothered by Bedunga.
Boy, 3 Jayhawks just converged on the ball.
Peterson no. And Momcilovic down with it for Iowa State.
Well, that's a shot that Peterson clearly can make. I'm not sure it was the best shot they could have gotten in that possession.
Heisey might have gotten fouled on that drive as well. No whistle, but he does get the basket. Down 21 at the half, down 18 now. White with 4 first-half threes. Peterson this time on the drive. Left it short. Momcilovic backing down White. Little hook shot will go.
He's got so much game on the offensive end. One of the best turnaround jumpers in college basketball. And that was a beautiful pivot to his right hand for that hook.
And they are eating into this deficit. Torre back in the game for the Cyclones. Bedunga the catch in traffic. Offensive foul, Darren Peterson, as Lipsy draws a charge. And Bill Self is furious at the call. Kansas by 16. Undefeated Iowa State is off to its best start in program history, 16-0, the longest win streak at any point in a season in program history. 14 of the 16 have been by double figures. Only the St. John's and the Iowa games were close, and they lead the Big 12 in a number of significant statistical categories. They have had a sensational first half of the season. They got punched in the mouth early and often here in this one, but they have started creeping getting back into the game. It's been a really good run for T.J. Otzelberger in his 5th year now in Ames. He's led them to a couple of Sweet 16s. No other Iowa State coach has ever done that, and they've got aspirations of going a lot deeper than that this year.
Well, T.J. Otzelberger is one of the best coaches in the country, and he's built a fabulous program at Iowa State. He's got a great culture, and they're playing more like the Iowa State team we've seen for the first 16 games to start this second half.
Milan Momcilovic called for the illegal screen, and that is his 3rd foul of the game.
Those are the kind of fouls that you just don't want to pick up, the cheap ones of screening.
Iowa State has outscored Kansas 10-5 so far in the second half to cut deficit down to 16.
Boy, Toure did a great job to keep that ball away from Darren Peterson.
Peterson gets in a handoff from White. Bedunga the screen. Council. Bedunga. Nice pass. Tiller the flush.
Boy, Bedunga saw the double team coming. And Tiller did another nice job of presenting himself at the rim.
Flory Bedunga had 11 assists all of last season. In fewer total minutes so far this year, he's got 29 assists this season. He has expanded his offensive game. Joshua Jefferson with a 3 at the other end.
Nice pass by Heisey, playing off 2 feet.
Council being hounded by Bateman out of the perimeter. Now White.
Boy, the ball pressure much better in this second half for Iowa State. It's a lot tougher for Kansas to make passes, more dribbling than passes.
Iowa State was much later getting back on the court at halftime than Kansas was. You can imagine T.J. Otzelberger had a lot on his mind. Darren Peterson with another, and now he's got a game-high 13.
But Peterson just gets into your body to create that space. It wasn't really a fadeaway, but he created just enough space to get that off over Joshua Jefferson.
A 6'6" scoring point guard. He can distribute, but boy, when he puts his mind to it, he is a bucket as much as anybody playing college basketball.
Well, he's got a true shooting percentage of over 63%. That's 2, 3, and free throws, and he's automatic from the foul line.
Deep one. A deep one for Bateman. And don't look now, but they are getting closer and closer, and there's a ton of time left in this one.
Boy, Bateman can really shoot it, but 24 of his 30 threes, or 24 of his 30 field goals are threes.
Peterson got right to the rim, missed the dunk, and he may be shaken up. Peterson is not getting back down the court. Now here he comes. But obviously something was bothering him after that missed dunk. And a 3 for Heisey. It's all Cyclones right now, and Bill Self wants a timeout. And we will see what, if anything, the issue is with Darren Peterson. The Cyclones are on a run.
Monday, the AT&T Countdown to the College Football Playoff National Championship on ESPN.
It all comes down to Monday night, the national championship game between Miami and Indiana. Another look at this play. Darren Peterson getting all the way to the rim. Looked like he would have an easy finish on the dunk, but he couldn't finish it, Jay. And after the play, for a moment or two, he just stopped. He did not get back down on defense. You could see he reached down and momentarily grabbed his left knee, but whatever it is, he walked over to the huddle, but he is now out of the game. And maybe he was coming out anyway, but McDowell and Jackson have both checked in for Kansas, but something to keep an eye on, given the uncertainty over the course of the season for Peterson's availability.
And Bill Self was wearing the officials out during that timeout, saying, hey, you didn't stop it when my guy was hurt, and they hit a 3.
Meanwhile, the Cyclones look like a different team. They look like themselves here in the second half. What a play by Flory Bedunga, splitting a double team and slamming it home, but it is still a 19-11 second half for Iowa State to make this a much more competitive game.
Kansas so good out of timeouts. What a beautiful cut by Nate Heise. That little 45-degree cut from the right wing. And Heise has had an outstanding game. I think he's got 10 points now. He's rebounded well. He's been a stabilizing force for Iowa State.
Joshua Jefferson, the assist. Council almost lost it. He did.
Well, you can't try to, you have to pick that up, not dribble it up.
And the reverse will spin off the rim for Bateman. Otherwise, Iowa State would have been down in single digits. What a block by Jefferson.
Well, we've seen some big-time plays in this game.
Heise, too strong on this one, and White soars for the rebound. Trey White is having himself a night. Not only 12 points, he's also got 7 rebounds in this game.
I think Kansas got to play inside out on this possession.
Marco Jackson, who gave Kansas a real lift off the bench with some great huddle plays, just picked up an assist as Trey White has his 5th 3 of the game. That's a new career high.
Well, he had 22 against TCU, but he's played even better in this one.
Lipsy probing, floater short. Jefferson fouled.
Well, the offensive glass is one of the areas where Iowa State has done well.
A timeout on the floor. Kansas still with a 14-point lead here at the Phog.
Great finish in Jersey. Number 3, UConn up 3 on Seton Hall. Norm, what do you see on Braylon Mullins' contest?
Oh, it's great. He comes here to the side, makes sure he does not make contact, and blocks the shot. Good play.
UConn has won 13 in a row. Meantime, Seth, what do you like about Paulius Morauskas and St. Mary's?
Morauskas 6'8", 19 points a game, gets about 7 times a game. A matchup problem because you put him all over the floor, especially in the ball screen action. A dent.
The Gales get San Francisco, 11 Eastern, ESPN2.
14-point lead, Kansas over Iowa State with Joshua Jefferson at the line for the Cyclones. And we are happy to report that our outstanding crew has solved the technical issues. And without getting into the details, let me tell you, this was some doing it. But as you can see, we've got multiple camera angles. Jay, you're going to get some replays to break down, and we're going to have a great end to this basketball game here in Lawrence.
Well, remarkable job by our crew to get everything up and running again. But after that free throw, the timeout, you always have to watch backdoor plays.
Darren Peterson back on the floor for Kansas. Tiller aggressively to the rim, but couldn't finish it.
Boy, a strong move by Tiller right into the body of the Iowa State defender.
Peterson trying to answer at the other end, and Tiller wins this one.
Yeah, that's how you wall up without fouling.
Now Marco Jackson and Jamari McDowell both in off the bench right now for Kansas. Both really good in the first half. Got to find a guy, and he does. 10 to shoot. Lots of traffic and a Kansas turnover.
Well, Kansas is trying to dribble the ball up when it's loose. Just pick it up.
Jefferson misses a 3, and Lipsy a reach-in foul on Peterson. Just his first. It has actually been a low foul game. Neither team got into the bonus in the first half, and the only player in the game on either side with 3 fouls is Milan Momcilovic, who is re-entering the game right now for the Cyclones. As you see, T.J. Otzelberger and Bill Self prowling their respective sidelines. This has become a great rivalry in the Big 12, one of many great rivalries in this league. Albert Council Jr., the St. Bonaventure transfer. Peterson with Buchanan on him. Can't get the shot off over him.
Got the switch. Now Touré's back on.
Bidunga. Tiller. 5 on the shot clock. McDowell. Got it! Corner 3.
No panic on the part of Kansas as the shot clock was winding down. And Jamari McDowell The overwhelming majority of his buckets are threes.
Iowa State had gotten it down to 11 a couple of minutes ago. It's back to 17. Crossover Heisey. Good cut. Torrey stumbles to the deck, and we've got a held ball, and the possession arrow will give it to the Jayhawks.
Boy, in this game, Kansas has been quick to the floor. That play by Marco Jackson in the first half, and Flory Badunga getting down quickly. Terrific relocation by Jamari McDowell to get off that three, and Tiller did not panic in a double team.
Kansas really getting great nights, Jay, from, for lack of a better term, some of its complementary players. This has not all been Peterson. McDowell and Jackson and Tiller have all played well tonight, and Badunga is having himself a pretty good night as well. He's got 10.
Well, you don't often see him just rip and take it with his hand to the bucket from that far out. A defensive breakdown by Iowa State.
Heisey, a miss from three. And it's two Jayhawks, Tiller Council, battling for the rebound.
Kansas's guards have done a much better job of coming down and rebound second half.
Boy, has this guy wheels or what? Counts again. And all the work Iowa State did at the beginning of this half is gone. It's back to a 21-point lead right where it was at halftime.
Flory Badunga, just that left-hand drive to get all the way to the rim through Blake Buchanan. And then Melvin Council Jr., which you've stated, he is a jet in transition. Kansas is playing its best basketball against Iowa State. Well, Darren Peterson, the spectacular offensive player, the freshman from Canton, Ohio. He's got Joshua Jefferson on him, just pulls up for that three, his only three of the game. Then when Jefferson switches out, just with a left-hand drive, stops on a dime and hits that mid-range shot. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block for Darren Peterson. The game where he hasn't shot the ball spectacularly, but he's made some great plays.
Turnaround, Momcilovic, no, and Badunga down with a rebound. Bill Self has only played 7 guys in this game. All 7 of them, Jay, I'm sure you would agree, have been big contributors to this 21-point lead.
Well, Jamari McDowell has been in the ball game. His assists have been important for Kansas. But the pressure has really been ratcheted up by Iowa State. They're really getting into the ball.
Shot clock running down. Council knows it. Grazes the rim, and McDowell runs it down. And they get a 3 out of it. Boy, TJ Otzelberger is not showing it on the outside, but he's got to be livid at some of the plays his team is not making tonight. Lipsey, he'll answer with a 3.
Just a miscommunication on a switch. And Lipsey was wide open. Everyone went with the screener instead of staying on the ball.
Again, Iowa State undefeated, 16-0, the second-ranked team in the nation behind only Arizona. It is just the second time the Cyclones have been ranked second. It happened last year as well. But it has been all Kansas with the exception of the first few minutes of the second half here tonight. Council trying to get away from Bateman. McDowell. He'll hit a 3. The Jayhawks' 12th made three-pointer of the game.
Kansas couldn't buy a bucket in the second half against West Virginia, and they are shooting the lights out against Iowa State, one of the best defenses in the country.
They're at 52% from beyond the arc, and a heady play by Momcilovic to draw a foul on Tiller.
Well, he drew Tiller off the floor on 2 straight shot fakes. But Council handling the pressure, and then Tamin Lipsey maybe over-helping there and not getting back out to McDowell before he could catch and shoot. You never want to let a player shoot it from the catch spot without pressure.
And do we have an official review? They may be checking to see if this should be 2 free throws or 3. But the players have been sent to their respective benches, at least for the moment.
Momcilovic got 2 separate. Yeah, it looks like he was just behind the line when he was fouled there, but he got Tiller off his feet twice on the same play.
Puts in the air, but when it comes down, it's behind the line, so that should be 3.
Like it, yeah.
Kip Kissinger, Brooks Wells, Brett Smith, the officials. This is Kissinger.
After review, the foul is a 3-point shot.
So 3 free throws coming from Momcilovic.
Momcilovic basically a 90% free throw shooter, right at 89. And he's had some open looks from the perimeter in this game, just haven't been able to knock anything down. One of his threes came off an offensive rebound. And without the offensive glass, where would Iowa State be in this one?
These two teams met twice last year. Each team won at home by 17. Momcilovic missed 8 games in the middle of the season a year ago with a hand injury, so he actually didn't play in either one of the games against Kansas last season. We've got some women's college basketball coming your way Thursday at 7 Eastern on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. Madison Booker in number 4 Texas taking on Joyce Edwards and number 2 South Carolina in Columbia.
And you have to expect full court pressure. Peterson's got to watch that off arm.
Yeah. A lot of ball handlers out there right now for Kansas.
Kansas going with a smaller lineup. Tiller playing the 5.
Council with the ball. Shot clock at 4. Hits again. He's got a dozen.
Such a strong move by Melvin Council Jr. He had one of the best games you've seen all year long against NC State. He had 36, made 9 threes in that game.
A game they won in overtime on the road. Momcilovic from the corner. And Tiller is fouled. It has been an aggressive Bryson Tiller in many respects here tonight.
And with as physical as half, and with just under 6 minutes to go, Kansas only has 3 team fouls, Iowa State 5. That's remarkable.
Peterson to the bench right now. And TJ Otzelberger just kind of running out of time, and I'm sure in his mind running out of answers. His team has not performed at the level they needed to come in here and win a game. And again, this team is undefeated on the season.
Got a switch off that high screen.
Trey White, who's already got a career high 5 threes in this game. The ball movement has been really good for Kansas all night long. A lot of sharing the basketball. Jackson. White's open. In and out. But look at the hustle by McDowell, but it bounces to Lipsy. Bateman launches a 3, and that's what he does. 43% from beyond the arc on the year.
Well, he can really shoot it. You just can't allow any separation. And Bateman hit 15 straight threes in a high school game once.
Jackson turns the corner. McDowell goes. Jamari McDowell's having a night. He's now got 8 points and 6 assists.
Oh, this has been his best game this season for Kansas. Injured last year. But he's been a factor off the bench.
Lipsy a little push off on Jackson. Jefferson trying to drive Tiller. Pass deflected.
But good help by Trey White.
This time Bateman will put it on the deck and hit that one as well. Good stuff from the freshman.
Usually you're worried about Bateman from 3. That was one of his few buckets from 2 on the season.
It is still a big lead for Kansas. Iowa State did cut into it noticeably in the first 5-6 minutes of the half, but then Kansas went on a run, and they've got a 20-point lead, just over 4 to go.
Kansas really spreading the floor.
A turnover by Tiller. Lipsy with a clear lane to the rim. In other circumstances, Bill Self might be a lot angrier about that, but under 4 to go with an 18-point lead. Council and the Jayhawks in a hurry right now. Reverse and 1.
Well, you get up that much of a head of speed and steam going to the basket. That's awfully difficult to stop. A great first step from Melvin Council Jr. to get all the way to the rim.
3:37 to go after the bucket by Council to give him 14. The lead for the Jayhawks is back to 20.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com.
Quite a night.
You and Fog Allen, KU rolling tonight.
SVP, thank you. Nice win on the road for UConn over Seton Hall. Houston, a big win tonight. Florida on its way to an impressive road win over Oklahoma. It is conference time. We are really into the meat of the schedule right now, Mr. Billis, and this is when the good stuff gets even better.
Boy, just so many great matchups. And there have been so many heroes for Kansas in this game, but I'll tell you, Trey White has had another outstanding game. He's got 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. And Kansas has blocked 6 shots and really protected the rim very well in this game.
5 threes for White, whose real name is Anthony, but he goes by Trey. One of his dog's names is 3, so you can tell that he likes the 3 ball, and he's been very, very good at it here tonight.
5 of 7.
Yep.
Yeah, Trey is a good name when you knock down 5 of 7.
And with Peterson in and out of the lineup, he's been so good in so many different areas for them. Some nights scoring, rebounding, dishing, just a veteran player. Senior, 4th school in 4 years for White, who originally committed to Kansas out of high school before deciding to go to USC. He will finish off his career here at Lawrence, and he is going to the free throw line.
Just a really smart play as the shot clock was winding down. It got down to 1, just a little step back, shot fake. Momcilovic leaves the floor, and he went right into his body. And Momcilovic did that to Bryson Tiller on the other end of the floor twice, and then he's victim of it with a just really smart play as the clock was coming down by Trey White.
Again, Kansas 1-2 in league pay. A win tonight obviously gets them to 2. Had they lost this game, and I thought 21 with 2:54 to go, pretty good shape obviously, but a loss would have sent them to 1-3 in league play, Jay. The last time they were 1-3 in league play, the Big 12 was the Big 8. It was 1987-88 when the Jayhawks started 1-3. The ironic thing about that is that was the year they would go on to win the national championship. Danny and the Miracles.
Larry Brown, the head coach at Kansas. At that point, Kansas has had 8 head coaches in their history. That's amazing. Only 8.
Yeah. 7 of them with a winning record. The only exception, the inventor of this great game, Dr. James Naismith. Go figure. Cade Kelderman getting his first action tonight now for the Cyclones. Bateman flying in there and lays it in. He's had some very good moments in recent minutes. Got 10 all this half. Dominicus Plata, a 6'11 freshman from Germany, back into the game. Played sparingly in the first half as TJ Otzelberger has pulled all of his starters from the game. Stolen. Boy, Council right on Bateman.
Just over 2 minutes to go here in this one at the Fog. Bateman tried to draw a foul, didn't get the call. And then Jackson is fouled by Heisey.
This result would have been really hard to predict. And especially yesterday in watching Kansas practice. Kansas scout team worked the starters over yesterday. It was not a great practice. I think Bill Self was a little disappointed in the competitive nature of his team in practice yesterday. And one of the things that I remember talking with Doc Settler, one of his assistants, afterwards, saying, sometimes when you practice this poorly, you'd be great the next day. I hope that's the case. And it turned out to be the case.
And we spent a fair bit of time with Bill Self after the practice, and as disappointed as he was in the way some things have gone this year, on several occasions, Jay, he said to us, but I think we're going to be okay. Over and over he said that, and tonight may be a significant step in that direction.
I thought one of the telling things was after his press conference after the West Virginia loss. He kept using the word yet. We're not doing this yet. We're not competitive enough yet. And he believes in this team, and they've shown he certainly had reason with the way they played tonight. What a block by Badunga.
Badunga has had a terrific night. Another reverse by Bateman. Boy, he is something.
Well, he can really shoot it, but he's attacked the basket in this game more than usual.
For Kansas to win a game like this, so important, obviously, given the quality of the opponent. But Bill Self really wants his team to get right in January. You look at their February schedule, it is unbelievable. They play Arizona twice in February. They'll go to Texas Tech. They'll host Houston, and they'll have a return matchup with the Cyclones in Ames as well. The Big 12 is unforgiving, especially when your schedule is backloaded.
Well, Kansas has proven in this one they can play to a high standard.
White takes it away from Plata. We are into the final minute as they rise to their feet here in the Fog. Council into the paint. Scoop. No. And Badunga has it. Shot clock did not reset. So that will be a shot clock violation on the Jayhawks.
Well, I think the most encouraging thing for Bill Self and his staff in the performance of this Kansas team has been how they competed on the defensive end. They were not great defensively the last 3 games or so. And they've been really good in this one. This is an excellent defensive performance, and I think that spearheaded their offensive performance.
And now the Naismith Hall of Famer Bill Self is going to empty the bench and get some of his regulars a much-deserved ovation. Until this moment, he had played only 7 tonight, and all 7 of them played very well.
Yeah, big-time contribution. Jamari McDowell played his best game.
Heisey, shovel pass, Plata gathers and finishes. Just 12 seconds left. Sami's Calderon. Giangallo with the ball, and he's just going to hold it as the final seconds tick away. And an important and an impressive win for Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks here tonight in Lawrence. They will meet again in Ames on Valentine's Day on ABC. Another win over a highly ranked team for Bill Self here at the Fog. Let's head to the nation's capital now. Sports with SVP.